Okay, so today we're going to look at section 4.2, which is graphing using your intercepts. Okay, so we are going to be doing some graphing, not a lot of it, but a little bit. So we need to know things about our intercepts in order to do that. So the thing we need to know about our y-intercept is that at our y-intercept, x is always equal to 0. Okay, and at our x-intercept, the opposite is true. Y is always equal to 0. So whenever you're finding your intercept, you set the opposite equal to 0. So y, x is equal to 0, and x when y is equal to 0. Okay, and it's pretty easy to identify intercepts based off of your graph. Okay, so if we start with my x-intercept, and I have this graph, I know that my x-intercept is where y equals 0. Okay, so in my ordered pair, I know that y is going to equal 0. And so then the only other thing I have to do is I have to identify where my graph crosses my x-axis. So my graph crosses my x-axis back at -4, so I know that my x-intercept is -4, 0. Okay, if I'm going to do the same thing then for my y-intercept, yep, x is 0, so I'm going to have 0 something. So 0, -3. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, so identifying from graphs is really easy. Okay, so we're not too worried about that. You will do some of those today on your assignment. The part that then gets a little more complicated, but still is easy because we know our zeros are finding it from an equation of a line. Okay, so this is an equation in standard form, and we went over standard form yesterday. So to find my x-intercept, I know that it's always true at my x-intercept that y equals 0. So then if I'm going to use this equation, then I'm going to plug in 0 for y to find my intercept. So I'm going to get 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 12. So 2 times 0 is...
3x equals 12.
Perfect. 2 times 0 is 0, so that just goes away. So we get 3x equals 12. Now what?
Now wait. So x equals 4.
Perfect. So x equals 4. So my x-intercept is 4, 0. So let's do the same thing then for y. I know that my y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. So this would be like 3 times 0 minus 2y equals 12. Perfect. That cancels, so I get -2y equals 12. Okay. So y equals -6. So then, perfect. My y-intercept is at 0, -6.
You gotta do both of them?
Yep, so you'll do both on every equation. Okay, we're good. So let's do a couple more. We'll do like 3 more.
Oh, I know.
So at my x-intercept, y is equal to 0. So I plug in 0.
-3x
Plus 5 times 0 equals 30, which means that yes, -3x equals 30. It's basically like covering up the 5y and then just doing it. So we divide by -3. So x equals -10. Perfect. -10 and 0. So there's my x. So then to find my y, I do the opposite. Y is x equals 0. So I'd end up with -3 times 0 plus 5y equals 30. Perfect. So 5y equals 30. Divide by 5, divide by 5. So like Tana said, y equals 6. So it'd be 0 and 6.
That's easy. I can do that in my head.
Okay, good. Then do it in your head. I mean on your assignment. Oh, I don't want to do this one. I want to do this one. Alright, so 2x minus 4y equals 8, because we said we were going to graph using our intercepts, so we have to actually look at how to graph. So my x-intercept is when y equals what?
0.
Okay. So then if I plug that in, I get 2x minus 4 times 0 equals 8. So 2x equals 8. So then x equals 4. Okay, so then I go on my x-axis, and I go over to positive 4, and I put a dot.
Do you have to graph this in the assignment?
And then yes. So then if I plug find my y-intercept. My y-intercept is where x equals 0. So if I plug in 0, 2 times 0 minus 4y equals 8. 2 times 0 cancels. So I get negative 4y equals 8. So what does y equal? 2. Perfect. So then I go down on my y-axis to negative 2, put my dot, connect my lines, and I'm done. Okay, so you're not worried about making a table of values on this one. You're just finding your 2 intercepts. Do you want to do one more? Are we feeling good?
Feeling good.
One more. Okay. Okay, let's do one more.
Yeah, let's use the practice. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm going to find my, so then x equals 0. So I plug in 0. So I get 2/3 y equals 4 minus 1/2 times 0. So 1/2 times 0 is 0. So 2/3 y equals positive 4. Okay, so then we multiply by a reciprocal. Remember with fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. And then put the 4 over 1. So those cancel. So 12 over 2.
And then that equals 6.
Perfect. So my y-intercept is at positive 6. So on my y-axis, I'm going to go up to positive 6. Okay, so then on my x-intercept is where y equals 0. So if I plug in 0 for y, I get 2/3 times 0 equals 4 minus 1/2 times x. Alright, well that just cancels, right? And ends up being 0. So I get 0 equals 4 minus 1/2 x.
Multiply. Oh, wait, no. Add 1/2. Subtract 1/2 because it's positive.
Subtract 4 because 4 is positive. Yep, we move what doesn't have the variable, so we're going to move the 4. And 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Yep. By 2 over negative 1. Because remember, we multiply by our reciprocal. Okay, and this is like 4 over 1. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And negative 8 divided by negative 1 is positive. Negative divided by negative turns out positive. So at positive 8. So I go on my x-axis, then I go over to positive 8. And then I connect them. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so you're going to do page 241 through 21 and 24 through 29. You are going to work on this today and tomorrow, so if you don't finish it today, then we'll finish it tomorrow. And remember, I'm gone.
Oh, I pressed 2.2.